Recording has begun.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Shazad Hussain and I live at 20 Primary Way in Undercliff, Bradford, and now it's been 119 days since my brother's been kidnapped by the state. 119 days, and I have absolutely no idea where he is and what condition he's been held captive in. It's simply ridiculous that 119 days later he was taken on the 8th of August 2023 by a police raid. The social worker, an unknown social worker that I've never met before, came down, took my brother, had me arrested on charges on allegations of neglect, released me, and then subsequently everybody's refusing to engage with me now. It's been 119 days, and no doubt today was Monday the 5th of December 2023, and the time is around about, I think, 8:30. Yes, I'm not doing too good today. Obviously, I really miss my brother. My whole world's been turned upside down in a matter of minutes. In a matter of 20 minutes, they came down. They came down with a predetermined intention to antagonize me into reacting, and then therefore to justify my incarceration. I didn't react with aggression or anything, which I know they wanted me to do. I stayed calm, cool, and collected. They had to release me because there was no ground. But subsequently, they put bail conditions. The West Yorkshire Police put bail conditions that I cannot see my brother again, and I should not find out where he is. And those bail conditions would have never been put in place if it wasn't for the local authority commissioning the services of the police. And that's what they do. The social workers not only can say to the police, come along with us while we carry out some duty, but they can effectively give them instructions to do whatever is in their best interest. And this is what I've learned from my experience dealing with Bradford social workers, is that they are God unto themselves, they are a law unto themselves, they do as they please, everybody else is subservient to them. And it's all because not only do the social workers at Bradford Council work closely with West Yorkshire Police, but they all work together. It's not, you think going to the court for tribunal services or going before a judge is going to be any different? No, it's all the same. They all work collectively in order to target and victimize vulnerable individuals that they then exploit to feed themselves through, working and paying your taxes in order to sort of keep up this facade that they're doing something that's in your best interest, and maintaining security when they are in fact creating an environment, creating monsters so they can cage them up. And that's what they're trying to do to me now. They're trying to make me out to be a monster. I'm a very cool, calm, collected and level-headed individual, but I can just imagine somebody who's more emotionally prone to really go off the handle right now and do something aggressive or violent, and then they can say, oh well, this justifies it because you're acting with violence and aggression. I don't need to act with violence and aggression. Like I said, I'm not a violent or aggressive individual, but it's still clearly a travesty of justice where everybody's just sitting back now waiting for basically they've destabilized us. They've set the poison, a slow poison, into force, namely, getting me to, become distressed, depression, and isolation, and they're just sitting back, watching, waiting, and sitting back, waiting for my downfall, and so they can scoop in and come across as the saviors. And that's what they were doing previously with my brother's case. They were waiting for him to fall or us to fall. And because we were not falling, they forced their way in and have taken my brother. And it's just very exhausting, very psychologically torturous. It is torture. There's no other word for it. They're psychologically torturing me through silence by refusing to engage with me and giving me the answer. It's torture through omission. I mean, obviously, it's not something that can be quantified. It's non-quantifiable torture, isn't it? If you get somebody, take my brother, put him into a room, lock the door, and just leave him there, do nothing, he's going to die, isn't he? If he doesn't get any food and water and sustenance, he's going to die, isn't he? And that's what they're trying to do. It's slow and it's effective, because you can say, oh no, this person just died of starvation. But why was he left in that situation? And this is what they've done with my mother and my brother. They said, oh, he just died of pneumonia. How has he died of pneumonia? How have they died of pneumonia? Pneumonia has to be as a result of a failure to do something, doesn't it? and they use that pneumonia as a means to, end people's lives, and there's no way to. And I mentioned this last time, and it's a bit like a whiplash. Oh, there's no evidence to support or dispute the fact that somebody's died of pneumonia, whether it was willful or not willful, and that's the whole point here: willful neglect. And this is what they're doing now. They're being willfully neglecting me, leaving me in this situation. And all I'm asking for is information. Just let me know where my brother is. Let me see him and you make sure that he's okay. But you see, the situation that they've got him in now is that they can do whatever they like to him. There are no consequences, because there's no consequences, are there? There's no means to independently evidence what's happening to him. Obviously, I myself, as a truly independent party, as his nearest relative and as a family member, would be able to witness exactly the failures of the corporations and the authorities, and be able to document that. So they don't want me to be there, so I can document their failures. So they just carefully abducted him and holding him incarcerated somewhere on the false assumption that they're providing appropriate care and support services to him, because they all regulate themselves. They're all it's all the paperwork's there. I don't give a damn about the paperwork. The fundamental paperwork is my brother has a human right. He has a right to a family life. He's not authorized this. He's been held there in the captivity, worse than any kind of prisoner without any rights. It's worse than Guantanamo Bay, because they're not letting his family members, namely myself, know where he is. And this is done in the 21st century, in 2023, that the state can just come and kidnap somebody like this and hope to get away with it. Absolutely horrendous, and it's all to do with the money and finances, because I was charging them so much, and my brother, and they've accumulated over 5 years of his benefit money, which they were not giving him. It's just a long, sad story. But as it stands today, I'm obviously going out of my mind, and that's my design, to make me go crazy, so they can say, look, he's at fault. Basically, everything that their failures, my fault. That's how brilliant is that, isn't it? So when you're so incompetent and you fail, it's never your fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Alright, it's always my fault, and it's always my fault because I'm an Asian, Pakistani, Muslim, alright, disenfranchised, living in Bradford. So it's easy to blame me. Yeah, you must be doing something. And the worst thing is? The worst thing is that everybody else believes them, because under the Milgram effect of they're an authority, they're getting money, they must be doing something right. And of course, you're just by me being not in having a position of authority, or having any kind of position, or not being paid anything, or me simply being a carer, that everything I say has no validity. You see how it works? And the reality is that these people are grossly incompetent. Anyway, look, I've said it so many times before. They all work together. The only reason it never comes out is because the judges are being bought off. The judges cover up everything. They're the final resort. They try to convince you that they are all independent. The reality is that they're all pissing the same pot. They're all pigs at the trough. Alright, eating Orwellian pigs at eating out of the same trough, and they're trying to convince you that they're independent. And why are they trying to convince you that they're independent? To get you deluded into believing into the system where you're working by making money, driving yourself into debt, driving yourself into anxiety and stress. And with regards to drugs and alcohol, they want you to be all drugged up, alcohol, to dependent on the pharmaceuticals or any other kind of intoxicants. They want this for you because they want you sad, miserable, and weak, so you don't end up challenging their structure or challenging them in any way. It's just so sad and pathetic that my brother's now in a situation where 119 days later, I have absolutely no idea where he is. I cannot go to utilize any laws or any systems, because they all work together. I've got my brother's solicitors in the past. The solicitors, that's the worst thing you can ever do, get a solicitor, because the solicitor officially will act on your behalf, unofficially have a back channel of communication with the social workers, with the council, because obviously they're just there to make money and try to fool you. So obviously that's closed. And even if I do get the best solicitor, how is that? The local authorities say, you get the best solicitor, pay all your money, become bankrupt, but we will buy off the judges. The problem is the judges. The judges are being bought off and they're acting malevolently. They're not impartial. They're selling. The judges are selling out their discretion to the local authority for a quid pro quo on a basis, so that they can all profit here. And ultimately, I'm suffering, my brother's suffering, my family's suffering, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's no way you can go, or you can go here, you can go there. Look, the game is rigged, and it's rigged by these people, and it's rigged by buying off the judges. All the judges. I've never met an honest judge in my life. All the judges are being bought off. In fact, what they'll do is, maybe there are some honest judges, I hope there are, but I will never go in front of them, because the courts and tribunal system engineer it so that their judges are taking on the case, so they get their preferred judge over anybody else. So I'll just leave it there. It's just sad and pathetic that I'm having to continue to make these videos and continue to be left in a position of social isolation, and my brother's obviously emotionally going to be, they're just decimated. If he's fucked, yeah, excuse my language, but my brother's messed up. Yeah, he's never going to be the same again. He's been traumatized. Nearly 4 months is pure trauma for him, that he's been stripped away from his family and held hostage like this, and there's nothing I can do about it, and there's nothing nobody can do about it. Do you think that going to the council is going to make any difference? The council are subservient. They're just public relations officers. The police are not even doing anything, and they have a duty and mandated to do something. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what to do. Just continue to be patient and persevere, because this situation is completely unacceptable, but there's nothing I can do, and nowhere I can go, and nobody who I can speak to, because they've created that way to socially isolate me, and they can come around any time now, abduct me, beat me up, do away with me, and there's nothing I can do about it, because this is by design and stratagem. Absolutely horrendous. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I'm not suicidal. I'll never kill myself. Obviously, I'm a bit down and emotionally struggling, because they've taken my brother and were not giving me any information about him. I could just only, God knows what he's going through. So we'll just leave it there. Allah Hafiz.